Alright, YouTube, I got one of these packages. You see what's in this thing? This from my girl V, Veronica. V Blade. I'm gonna put her name in the description. It's gonna be somewhere on the bottom of the page as well. And I tell y'all the greatest at modifications, the greatest. Most sharpest, consistent, clean blades. She can zero them out, get them to cut as close as possible without nicking or any of the other things. So, big shout out to Veronica for this. This patty right there. It's the patty green version, limited edition. I went black and green just because y'all know I rock with the black and green Tune 45 Babeless FXs already. So really just to match my set. Ooh, zero gap blade. These are pretty much zeroed out. The blade store, I'm telling y'all, she dangerous. Super zero gap blade, as you guys can see. The ridge in this area is angled and shaved off. So instead of the clipper blade going straight up like this, it meets the bottom blade, which is the cutting blade that rock back and forth. Instead of it being like this, it actually meets at a point like this. So every time you hit the lining, it's a critical hit. Veronica, I appreciate you for this. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put these to work. I'm gonna let you know how I feel about these by the end of the video. What you trying to do to it today?
Keep the iron set, blade man. Tape on the side. Oh. Just trim this down. My chin and long.
You just want to keep the beard as wide as possible.
I got a cousin that last name.
So to kick this video off, I wanna go in by picking my client's hair. As you guys can tell, it's been anywhere from 5 to 7 months since this man had a haircut. Fortunately, as barbers, it's up to us to change that outcome. This is where we get real creative, but we hop in that surgical bag. If you're able to make it through this video today, I promise I'm gonna overly whelm you with the results of this haircut. It's 2021, it's year of transformations, and without further ado, it's time to show y'all a little bit of God's work. Love, peace, and blessings to all, and let's get it. Guys can see I went in with my number 2 guard, and that was super important just to get the hair down to that one desired length. The man said he wanted wave length, taper size, and a high beard. So I'm just basically trying to achieve, you know, that high length in terms of the hair. Just trying to get it all down to that one desired length. Taking my time, but doing full clean strokes throughout the hair. And now I want to go in using my Babeless FXs at the bottom of the C-cup area, creating a nice guideline and a prominent guideline to ensure that this taper will be a nice bursted taper. My next step is to go in completely open using my Babeless FXs. I'm giving myself a 1/2 of an inch so I can create that room to start to create a nice transition within this haircut. Now I'm dropping them halfway right here. As you guys can see, I'm in between guidelines of the ball line and the open line, and now fully closed here. I want to give a huge shout out to my dog, Only One Lee, man. I swear this dude is different when it come to beats. Super young cat, got flavor, and 808 crazy. As you guys can tell and hear it yourself, I got the baddest producers in the game on this YouTube thing. Big shout out to Lee, big shout out to my dog Germ. I swear it's up from here. So now I go in with my 1/16 guard, and I'm completely open, and I want to give myself more of a guideline, drop them completely closed here, and I want to fade in between that realm. And now I shifted to my 1/8 guard, which is considered my number 1 guard, and that's completely open now. And I want to stay on the edges because I want to keep it kind of dark around that C-cup area, but I want to ensure that the taper look bursted. So I'm just taking my time, using 2 teeth in the corner sometimes, but also not laying my blade flat at all, brushing one and fade one, and staying up to par with my situation. Now 1/16 again, I'm halfway closed here, and I'm just basically trying to create some more of a transition within this closed to open looking area. And I'm just taking my time, using the 2 teeth on that right side of the blade, and now completely open using the 2 teeth for the right side of that blade. My blade is not flat at all. I'm just making sure that I can feed hair through them corner teeth, and I'm just ensuring that this transition is coming out correctly. As you guys can see, it's coming together beautifully. This is ridiculous right here. Trimming behind the ear, I just need to make sure that overall I'm getting a banging transition. Back to open using them corners of that blade, working myself in this fade, and overplaying my part. Now I'm completely open on the highest part of the beard, and I'm giving myself another inch. I'm gonna drop them halfway closed here. Not fully closed, and as you guys can see, the transition is coming together really well in this area. The taper looking bursted, but also the hair still black wavelength. And then now with a 1/16 guard, trimming some of this other hair just so I can create the transition from the bald taper into the top of the beard. Super clean. Now I want to hop in the back. I want to go in. I'm going to give myself a whole inch, and I want to basically come in and create a nice guideline, because as you guys can see, I got more room in the neck to deal with. This taper don't sit low, so I'm going to have to bring this somewhat higher. Now completely open using my Babeless FXs, keeping everything consistent. Now I'm completely closed here. As you guys can see, just trying to hit the transition bottom of the taper area to ensure that I can do a nice transition. Some of the hair is growing to the left, but you know, you just gotta stay up to par with those. And I'm completely closing my 1/16 here now, hitting the bottom of this taper area. Now halfway.
Oh yeah, Lee, this hard.
Now fully open. I'm just taking my time, transition coming together. I'm not rushing it at all. Brushing one and fade one, and staying consistent. Now 1/8 guard, which is a number 1 guard, completely open, and I'm gonna blend most of this bulk in here. Using the hilt of my blade and only a couple teeth in my blade, I'm gonna be able to ensure that I can create a transition without having to go up so much higher. Only reason that I went up the level that I went up now is due to my taper area being longer. So as you guys see, when I zoom back, that's what the taper gonna kind of look like. And it's in the game. Brush one, fade one. Just keep it consistent, and I promise you it's gonna come together. And y'all already know what I do on this side. It's time for me to tap in with the souls of my supporters. Whenever y'all chasing anything, man, I want y'all to see it through and through all the way. No matter how bad it is, no matter how good the situation is. The biggest thing in life is that we go through this thing that's called, reaping success. And a lot of people can't always reap the W's. Everybody want to display that the W's is this and the W's is that. But there's no way that you can embrace all the W's if you can't embrace the L's. Life is about losing, and losing ain't a bad thing. Losing can be turned into a learning experience, and with learning experiences, you take them with a grain of salt. You understand your scenario, and you understand what you do the next time to make it better all the way around. I just want y'all to focus in. I need y'all to be completely transparent with y'allself and those around y'all. This will not only teach you how to move differently, but at the end of the day, you'll always gain a piece of education through everything you encounter. My next step is to go in and trim most of this hair down in the front. I want to ensure that this hair is laying down, cause I cut them to a 2. Fresh off a crazy afro like that, it's not gonna lay down. So that's gonna take me to my next step, which is a handful of wrapping lotion, a lot of body wrapping lotion. I want to run it all the way through his hair, cause I want to prep his hair to lay down for me. I'm gonna go in with a brush and a blow dryer at the same time, just to ensure that I can get this mousse all the way through the hair, and I can get this hair laid down as much as possible. It's super important throughout my process, just so I can ensure that I can get this man hair to lay down. And to get the hair to lay down is important, especially in coarse hair and if they going for wavelength, because getting the hair to lay down is gonna help you bring all the hair forward. So once you line it, you're not worrying about the hair bouncing backwards. Bringing the hair forward, no matter what the scenario is, and every haircut makes sense to ensure that you will get a tighter lineup, but at the same time you'll get a nice, cleaner, fuller finished look at the end of your haircut. So just stay focused, bring that hair forward, and just keep everything consistent, setting yourself up for the next steps in the haircut. Now to go in using my M spritz, I want to ensure that I hit every end of the hair, every part of the lineup, the top of the beards, just to ensure that all of these hairs will be frozen and they ready to go. Next step, I want to float over the top of the hair, and I want to ensure that all of the roach legs, all of the scraggly legs are down. That's not what we worried about right now. We want this hair to look as smooth as possible. We need this hair to look even as possible, and we need it to look like a wavelength haircut. I need to look like he never had an afro in the beginning, and that be my objective. Sometimes people can't see the finishing result, but that's what I do. That's what Beam do on his channel. My next step is to go in using my Babeless FXs, my new ones. Shout out to my girl Veronica. When I tell you she set these things down to a T, she set them down to a T. They hit on every corner, every aspect, and they got the new blade on the Babeless. So I had to go with my gold ones in the back of the beard, just to ensure that I was feeling the same exact thing from the green trimmers that I normally feel in my regular golds. And that's gonna be the reason why I'm gonna finish this whole haircut with the greens, because they felt super perfect. I knew I was tripping, like I almost felt like I was using some of the same clippers. And as you guys can see, I went in, tapped my guideline in, used the corner of my blade to work myself all the way around the ear of the client, and ensuring a nice, clean, crispy line. Now hitting the back of the beard area, and as you guys can see, the lines are super prominent, they super clean, and at the same time, man, the trimmer feel really good in hand with the diamond grip to use. And shout out to Veronica again, man. She set these things on point. These are ridiculous to me, and as you guys can see, it's coming together. So to start this hairline off in the middle, I want to turn on my way. Seeing my client has a spot in the front of his head, I want to line up on the furthest set of hair of his head, just to ensure that this lining won't be pushed back. He said keep his lining exactly where it's at, so I had to make sure that I'm on the end or the edge of every hair without forcing myself into this lineup. Creating a vertical bar, now working my way into the Chicago C, starting from the bottom all the way to the top. And as you guys can see, super fire. Super fire. Taking my time, using the corner of my blade, ensuring that I'm getting a nice shape and a nice Chicago C in this area. Now starting back in the middle, working my way all the way to the right side. I want to apologize for some of the blur, but once it adjusts, we back in the game. So I start from the middle, work my way all the way to the right, now drop down to do my vertical bar, and a lot of these hairs are light. A lot of average barbers will cut into these hairs and go to the darkest area of his head, which will ultimately push his lining back, and that's not what he wanted. From the beginning in the consultation, you guys heard the client say specifically, keep the line where it's set, do not push into the line at all, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to accommodate him as much as possible and give him the cleanest, sharpest lineup I can, at the same time trying to be natural. So I go on my boy Sean Cut's hair color enhancement card, assisted with my Beam Team cordless compressor and my color No Drip. And as you guys can see, I'm putting that color in there, and I'm finna give it that flair, I'm finna give it that pop, I'm finna take it to a whole different level, and I'm just ensuring that I'm laying the law like a legislator when it comes to this color thing. I'm super clean in this area, but also this is my specialty. This is what my clients come to me for. They come to me for color, they come to me for these super exotic looks, these fly, clean, sharp lineups. That's Steve Harvey, that's what they come to me for. And I just want to say I appreciate all of my clients who trust me with their heads no matter what. I want to tap back in using my trimmers and just focus on the front area of this lineup. you guys can see, super clean. It's coming together crazy. Next step is to go on my Barber magic pencil, and the ideal is to basically conceal this lineup. I want to create nice, thin, clean lineups to get his hairline some type of contrast, some type of pop, some type of sharpness, and some type of ergonomic look. And that's the objective. When women do their eyebrows, they shape their eyebrows first and they go behind them and add any fill-in or color just so they can darken up the eyebrows, and behind that they'll concealer eyebrows and then blend it out with a blending brush to give it that nice, clean, sharp, clean eyebrow look. And that's the same thing that I'm doing. I'm just applying it in a haircut industry. And as you guys can see, I'm staying super focused. I'm holding the client head, but at the same time I'm hitting the lineup with my trimmers. I'm just trying to ensure that I can get this color dispersed across the skin and create a nice contrast in his skin while achieving a super clean line. It's super important, man. Look at that. That's fire. Crazy, bro. Each line like matters in my haircut. When it comes to the lineup, bro, like, man, it's different over here, bro. Super different. Now I want to hit the bottom of the mustache area just so I can ensure that I'm getting a nice clean line on the mustache. Just taking my time all together, ensuring that the mustache is super clean.
Oh yeah, Lee, this hard.
Now doing the left side just so I can match this side with the other side. Just trying to be super symmetrical here. Now my next step is to lean them back, angle my razor to 45-degree angle, stretch the skin and bring everything back to the highest point. As you guys can see, I freehand all of my beards. I don't like putting the trimmers on the beard. I go in and I dust it off because y'all know the first time we lap something is not correct. That's not when it's over. You want to go back, you want to clean it up multiple times, and you want to just reiterate yourself and ensure that your lining is as clean or as crispy as possible, and you will get lineups just like this. That's the objective. My channel is about precision. I'm here for that laser focus. That's what Beam is about. That's what my name means. Like, Beam come from that laser and precision. So just stay up to par with me, and I promise you, you will get results just like this. And that's really the focus, no matter what's going on. The more you invest in your craft and your education and put the shots up, you will eventually be able to solidify hard lines just like this. This haircut looking crazy. I'm literally shifting this man's mind and his life. And all it takes is a little bit of confidence, at the same time, effort, and just being humble and consistent, man. Just always be consistent, and I promise you the game will reward you for everything that you put into the game. It's no way that you can put up 1,000,000 shots in the world and you eventually don't hit one. It's no way. Stay consistent with the game, and I promise you the game will stay consistent with you. It's only gonna give you back everything that you put into it. So I wanna clean up the top of the eyebrows too, cause my man eyebrows was looking crazy. But at the same time, this is a full makeover. I wanna ensure that this dude look completely different when he leave my chair compared to when he first got in my chair. My objective is installing confidence in every haircut, and I'm gonna ensure that I do that no matter what. Hitting the top of the eyebrows just to ensure that I get some cleanliness to the eyebrows. And now hitting the bottom of the neckline, creating a nice clean lineup. Super fire. Super fire. Now the front of the lineup, I want to ensure that the forehead is super clean. All of the residue from the hairspray is off of the forehead. I just want to ensure that this is as clean as possible. And in the imperfect world, this is what we do. We create perfect things where they even aren't supposed to be perfect. That goes to show how invested I am, not only in my craft, but how much I care about my client leaving with an incredible look, like a look that he couldn't even believe he would achieve. My next step is to float over the hair one more time. I want to ensure that all of this hair is laid down, and this angle is just gorgeous. As you guys can see, super bursted taper, clean top, you know, line up fire. this is just a crazy angle. And that's what it's about on this YouTube thing. I'm trying to show y'all the most incredible haircuts, you know, on a day-to-day schedule. This is a regular day schedule thing for me right here. I do this all day, every day. So I just want y'all to focus, man. The more that you put into this game, I promise you it will reward itself. I'm gonna say that 1,000,001 times. People always want the game to come quick to them. People don't want to put up the shots. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the effort. And in this world, this is what you have to do if you want to get this good. I'm not the best barber in the world, but I promise you, I'm different. In the imperfect world, we get clients that come in the barbershop 5 to 7 months without haircuts, looking crazy by the head. As barbers, it's up to us to change that outcome. It's 2021. It's year of transformations, and without further ado, let's lock in. Hashtag TBT in that comment section. Hashtag Glacier Gang. It's 2021. It's year of transformations. Y'all know how I give it up on my channel. I'm in that duffel, and I'm not getting up out of it. I'm super focused this year, and it's ugly on my side of the turf. I'm gonna always show y'all how to overly execute haircuts. Without further ado, if you was able to make it through this 20-minute video, I appreciate you so much, and may God bless.
You know what you think?